sucks.
It's not your fault that you can't see what we see. This is how to watch TV on Comeuppance Network. This is how to watch TV on Comeuppance Network. This is how to watch TV.
Welcome to How to Watch TV, Sons of Anarchy, Season 7, Episode 7. We are at Greensleeves. I mean, pretty obvious name of the episode, huh?
Nice. I actually enjoyed that name.
Right? Not bad.
Because that was my favorite part.
Yes, good stuff. We go into this episode with the whole previously on. I noticed it was Nero saying that. That's the only thing of note to me. He was the one that said previously on Sons of Anarchy.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice it.
I don't think he's ever said it before. Just struck me as odd. The club's all standing on the side of the road, and Jax gives Juice his cut back. And Juice apologizes and then takes off. Rat and the other guy. Do you know the other guy's name?
It's a mystery.
The other guy that hangs out with
yeah.
Rat. The other lackey that's Mexican.
Yeah, no, I don't. No, I sure don't.
Okay, well, I'm just the other guy. So they follow in the van. Then we see JT written on the wall with what I'm assuming is his death date.
I think it has to be.
11/13/93.
Yeah, it has to be.
And they all touch it before they leave. So presumably that was where he died?
Didn't he get run off the road?
Yeah,
or
that's what I'm
something?
saying. So it had to be right there, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, why the arbitrary...
Yeah, it did
rock
have
wall.
to be there. It did have to be there, and weirdly enough, why there, and why did they start from there? You know, obviously they concocted a plan there, but why?
What would be interesting is to find out how old Jax was at that time. How old do you think Jax
they
was?
said
when...
that he was young.
But how young? Abel young?
Yeah, I think so. I think that they've said that before.
I'm just seeing... it feels very Shakespearean to me, the whole thing, and the whole thing just kind of feels like it's going to be history repeating itself.
I feel that same feeling, just like in The Wire, how, you know, all the characters kind of replace themselves at the end.
Yeah, it's
so to
fucking
speak.
one of my favorite fucking things.
I mean, weird. I mean,
God, I would have
eerily-
liked to have seen that continue.
Eerily strange, you know what I mean? I feel that kind of the same thing is happening in the fact that now Juice is going to end up as Otto. You know, there's some slight things that are happening, and in light of Otto, you know, kind of the things that have happened in the episode with the eye and shit.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I got some revelations about the Juice thing that we need to discuss when we get there.
Mystery. He's riding off. We don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's leaving. I knew at that moment that there's no... I'll tell you as I figured this out, as we were watching the episode, because Jen can attest when I said a certain thing. But when he left, I was like, oh, he's doing something for them.
Yeah.
There's no
it
fucking
only
way.
Seemed obvious
there's no way they would let somebody who
But you're
betrayed
still
them right
wondering
off
what?
in the cut.
You're just like, oh, well, what could he be doing?
Yeah. And then Gemma and Wendy talk about Abel and how something's up. He seems more distant every day. Gemma's feeling out Wendy to see if Juice gave her up to the club. They both don't know shit, is basically what it amounts to. Gemma tries to give Wendy an out in case she wants to go, saying, you know, this was all on me, if you want to take off, blah, blah, blah. Wendy's like, nah, I'm in. She gives her another pat on the back about how well she's doing with the boys, as you put it last time we talked about that, you know, an attaboy. Gemma doesn't know what Jax will do if Juice told him, and that's what scares her. I just love that she's scared.
That it is wonderful.
It's quite enthralling. So maybe it is worth it. Maybe Tara's death. I knew that it would serve the story. Like, I totally got that. You just didn't... You wanted to see a happy ending for a while.
But Tara's still so much alive by Gemma being so fucked in her own head.
I guess you could say she's still alive, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, there's conversations
Not to
with
Jax,
her.
though.
There's
She
conversations,
seems
but
not present at all in his life.
she was never present before, except for when he saw her in passing.
Fair point.
But, so what a lovely father and husband, I guess.
Yes, a great guy.
But, she's still in every episode. I mean, Gemma talks to her in every episode.
Yeah, she did speak like one line to her here in this episode.
I mean,
that
and
gonna tell him. I have to tell someone.
Yeah, exactly.
That-
So
yeah.
you know, I mean, so she's in every episode, and every episode has been based on her so far this season.
I bet the
because-
actress is like, God damn it, I'm not getting paid for those references.
right? And
They figured out a way to just cut her paycheck.
she's been offed and is in every episode so far based on the fact that they're killing for her. All those killings, technically, you know, with the Chinese and you know everything like that or whatever it is, has been Altera. So technically, in that, she has been 100% of the storyline.
She's been in every episode, just isn't getting paid for it.
Yeah.
Poor actress. Whoever she is, I forget. I don't know her real name. Any idea?
No ideas.
No. Do you ever wonder when you're watching the opening credits who's who? Like, does that pop into your head? Like,
Yes.
I wonder who Mark John Bourne is, or whatever the fuck,
Sometimes because,
or Boone or something.
well, the no-name names don't strike in my head. You know, I don't wonder who those are. But you see names all the time, and you're like, man, I think I know who that. You know, for some reason, I've seen that name before. Or,
Did Jimmy Smits make it into the opening credits?
yes.
His name is in that opening sequence?
Yes. It doesn't.
It
say
comes
guest,
off a tattoo?
Doesn't say no.
Because he's not a guest star at this point. He's part of the show. Like, he replaced Clay, in a sense. He is part of the cast now. This is the last season. They knew he would be in all the episodes, or you know what I'm saying, unless he dies. They knew he was going to be a regular part of the cast.
Maybe that's what they did. They just let him say last time on or blah, blah, blah.
Oh, previously on? I see what you did. Okay. Juice pulls up outside a gas station where a bunch of motorcycle cops are and just starts shooting at the ground around their motorcycles. And I don't know. They chase.
That could have been better.
Yeah, they chase him down, and then he is. What is he doing?
Running?
No. What is he doing at that exact moment when it fades to white?
I don't know.
Riding through this world all alone.
Yep.
Do you wanna know
I guess he was.
how to watch TV? From everything on AMC to mystery. It's almost day.
Careful.
It's TV time. Forget about what you read or what you think in your mind. Yeah. This is how to watch TV.
Look up at Jim Linus on Twitter for more genius songs like that. Probably not just like that, but kind of commission that one specifically. But thanks, Jim. Love the opening song. We go to
Very good.
Yes. ...
Next picture, neighbor's house on fire.
Unser and the MC are at Redwoody. Well, Unser's there and the MC show up at Redwoody, and Lila's filming a porno in the background. And Unser tells Jax that Egley's awake, and he not so subtly asks what she said. And he says she's not going to say anything as long as she's not going to get killed by the Nazis. And Jax promises nothing will happen. He asks if Unser pushed her in that direction, and he says that she went to high school with you, and she just wants the town to stay whole. Loves this place, which I didn't see that coming.
Well,
I mean, I get her not wanting to die, so her towing the line and going, holy fuck, look what just happened. They're cops and we can still die.
I kind of do because she asked for him, and we all wanted to know, like the cliffhanger when she said whatever she said in the drawn out way of
Yeah.
I only need to tell you or something. So we kind of knew already, but even more so, they've been talking, you know, the sons have been talking, like when Jerry came to the ice cream shop when it got hand grenaded, she asked, he's like, no, we like, hey, it's been said over and over that they like her, that they
Yeah.
like this person, they, and so on and so forth. So
Oh, they had said that before this episode?
oh yeah, in several of the episodes,
Okay.
and even when
I don't remember her being a big character.
no, never was a character, but that I think that's why they kept,
Oh, they mentioned her a lot.
since the shooting, they keep saying,
Oh, I see what you
we
mean.
didn't mean to. That wasn't. We like this person. We enjoy this person, or whatever. And they kept reinforcing that. I realized, and it all makes sense because now we
Yeah.
find out that they went to school.
Yeah, okay. I guess so. Yeah, having a peer like that.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want shit to happen to any of your.
Yeah. Unser asks if Jax has heard anything about Juice, and he says he's still missing. And he tells Unser to stick around and watch. Cox and Bagels is going to be huge. What the fuck? What is that a pun of? Aren't all porn titles...
Lox and bagels.
Is that a thing?
Bagels and lox.
I don't know what that is.
It's basically salmon, is it not? I mean, lox are salmon.
I literally have no idea. I've never heard of that.
Well, you talk British all the fucking time and do not know what bagels and lox are, or lox and bagels, or whatever.
Is it... what is the expression? Bagels and lox or lox and bagels? Because the pun's got to be in order.
Well, that is the pun, and
Cox
so
and bagels?
I'm sure it's got to be lox and bagels.
Why not Cox and anals or something? Like, why not go for it?
I don't know.
Cox and anals. I mean, come on.
Probably because they had to keep it TV-14.
You mean while they were simulating sex back in the background?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah. Well, it was still TV-14.
No, it's TVMA.
Well, they're okay, but their nipples were still covered.
Correct.
They were not naked.
No, but they were. There was in one of the shots. There was a girl laying on her back. Her legs were up, and the guy was thrusting on the other side of her, like standing right in front of her. Missionary. It was like, holy shit! How is that just a thing that's happening right now? It's just you didn't see the genitals. But I mean, straight up just thrusting in the background. I appreciate the attention to detail.
Nice.
And the real, making it seem real. You didn't have to go that far, but I guess that
This is what happens.
Yeah. Juice is stopped relatively quickly and taken into custody without incident. And I thought for a second he was going to die via police suicide.
It seemed as though he was thinking about it, didn't it?
As soon as he was taken in, I figured out what the point was. I didn't think for a second they were going to let him right off for his cut without doing their bidding, and that he was just going to go into jail and kill Lynn. And Jen was like, "Holy shit, that's probably exactly what's going to happen."
Yeah, it was pretty evident.
Literally, the next scene was like, "Yeah, he's going to kill Lynn." Like, holy shit, okay. I kind of figured there's no way.
If he doesn't, then
exactly.
Tully will kill him.
Mm-hmm. So, Tig tells Rat good job, and to get to Piedmont, he called him, and Tig's at the clubhouse, I believe. Clubhouse, I get so lost about that because when they're there, I think they're at... Didn't the clubhouse used to be at TM?
Yes.
Did they not rebuild that whole place?
I don't know kind of how. I don't think they rebuilt the clubhouse. The business is still there because I don't think it was attached.
No, that whole building blew up.
The bar and the clubhouse.
They had to rebuild the whole thing, didn't they? I am sure of it, dude. There's no way.
I don't know. They didn't put much in that storyline. They just blew it up.
I just thought that was their whole building. I thought it was all connected. And whenever I see the table in the room, I think it's in the clubhouse still. Yeah. It feels like it. Everything else in there's the same. And it's like, you're fucking with me. So I always forget where they're at. And he tells the club that Juice is in custody in one piece. And Jax knows it's a risk. And Chib speaks up saying the boy will do what he's told. They know he had no other options or he would have left a long time ago. It was weird to me that Chibs was the one to kind of vouch for him after how shitty he's been towards Juice.
Well, I don't think that was a vouch. I mean,
but it felt like it.
I mean, he knows him, and that's why he called him out in the first place, because he just knows who he is as a person and character. He's the one who's called him out in every avenue.
What, Sawyer? No, you're gonna have to wait. I'm doing a podcast. Daddy, Skylander Swap Force. Yeah, so Jax then confirms that if everything goes according to plan, Tully will set Juice up to finally kill Lynn. And that's the second watch through is when I had a thought. Wait a minute. Juice knows Lynn didn't kill Tara. That didn't occur to me the first time I watched it. And it was like, holy shit. Why would he go through with it? I mean, I know he wants to get back in the club, but
that to me,
that's
and
got to play out.
I did think of that right away because that is how that's weirdly playing out.
Yeah, because he can't just go and kill Lynn knowing that Lynn didn't do it. I mean, he can in the sense that he needs to get back in with the club, but I feel like Juice is almost too moral for that.
He seems to be, but then again,
he's crazy a little bit.
Yeah, look what he's killed before. For
does he get to not be? Does he get to be not crazy when he's with people? Because seemingly he was saying he was only crazy when he's by himself. So does that count as being not crazy, or does that mean you're just holding your tongue? I think
when he was saying that, I think you took that slightly wrong in the fact that right now he's alone in the world.
No, I know what he means, but he's alone in the sense that there's no...
Well, he's listening to you talk instead of the voices, if he's hanging out, you know.
Yeah, but does that count as him being less insane? Regularly,
it makes him feel more comfortable. No, he's just as insane, but it makes him more comfortable.
Never mind. I know the exact answer because I'm thinking right now. Well, what is it like to have something that's always there, but when you're doing other things to distract you, it's seemingly gone? That's my hearing issue. The ringing. It's there right now, but we're talking, so it's distracting me from it. So. Yes, he's still crazy all the time.
Yes,
is the answer.
Because you're no less deaf.
Correct. I am no less deaf, and the ringing is no quieter. Yeah, he says if he chokes, Tully will kill Juice. And they found a sacred spot to bury in quotes, a sacred spot to bury the priest on Pope's construction lot. Jax didn't want to sever ties to August to kill Lynn. And they still wonder who ranted them out to Lynn. Do we know?
No, I don't think that we do, to be honest.
Okay. Sawyer, please stop knocking on the door.
Because the only connect that there was to Lynn, the crooked cop shot in the forehead in the pawn shop.
Okay. Oh, so we could have potentially found out through him, but that lead was,
Yes.
I see. Jax, let's see. Even without the rat, they were bound to go head-to-head with Marks, and they have to play it smart due to his political sway. They need to leverage him, not, fire or whatever. What the fuck did you say? Need to do this with leverage, not blood?
Yes.
And the Niners and the Mayans have their back, and Jax then goes on to explain to them how they've done way more than the patch requires, and not even for a second do they ever flinch. And, he basically says, "You're my family, I love all of you," and that the club's loyalty couldn't be repaid. And then I just thought when he said, "I love you," I just imagined the show ending with a big gay orgy between all of them.
You would.
Yep. It's just all, that's the end of Sons of Anarchy. They just all are gay for each other. There's a lot of love and leather and,
It is. I did foresee the light at the end of the tunnel last night for the first time in the episode, though.
What do you mean? That there was actually this shit was gonna calm down and
no. That it's blowing up right now because I told you last time we were here that it just didn't feel like it was coming up to the end of not just a season but the show itself. And it just
you're seeing the end now.
Yeah, I see. Well, it's starting to. No, I'm just saying things are starting to snowball. As I was like, well, if they're gonna start killing people off, they got to start doing it soon. I mean, they gave Nero back. Juice is still alive. Nobody's dying.
Yeah.
Well, with everything happening with Bobby, I mean, things are starting to unravel. Because we had the anticipation that Bobby was going to be the president.
Yeah, fair enough, but. As I told Jen, I don't think that's the end of Bobby. I don't think it just goes down like that. I don't think they do what they did and then just off him.
No,
But
no.
we'll get to that. Let's see. The club basically says they love him too.
Aw.
Yeah, a sweet moment. Unser at Redwoody telling Jax about what happened to Juice. Jax is not fucking convincing in not knowing already. Like, what the fuck? Put some effort in there. I mean, I know
That's
a
good
great,
acting that you're
exactly.
acting. That's good acting.
Yes, but if I believe he's a person, give it a fucking shot and try to convince him you don't know.
So
What?
same thing as Unser, that was good acting on his part based on him like knowing that they're
Yeah.
not telling the truth and you can read that in him.
And not being so stupid that he believed it immediately. Like,
Yeah.
that was a nice touch too. He says that Juice is mute at the moment, and Unser knows they knew. Chucky comes to TM on his moped and tells Gemma he knows the club sees him as a mascot and it is a joke, but he's a good listener, and she can talk to him. And that was kind of sweet. His I know I'm a joke thing, like, that was kind of, feel bad for the guy.
Well, you always end up feeling bad for the guy at every corner that he's in.
So Gemma, after Nero pulls up, Gemma tells Chucky he's not a joke, and Nero tells her his plan to retire before he talks to Jax about it. Says his uncle will give him his farm for an even million if he can get 150 cash. He's going to sell his part of Diosa and take Lucius and Gemma. And she doesn't want to run away from stuff, and he says it's a place to run to. He asks her to think about it, and she says, man, he was fucking killing it in that scene. Jimmy Smits, he was crying. Like, that was some good shit.
It seemed real.
Yes, his part of that was so dead on. He says, we deserve something better, Jem. And that made me well up the second time. She goes, do we? Yeah, he does. You don't. You don't, Gemma. No. To be honest, you do not. But he says he's got serious love for her. Unser tells Gemma what happened with Juice. And they both don't understand. So he shot at the... It doesn't make any fucking sense. She's assuming that he told about killing Tara, and... They're both so far off base, it's ridiculous. Gemma, again, not subtly, asks if Juice said anything to Jax. And Unser says he knew that they already knew he had been picked up. And he knows they're using Juice for something. He tells Gemma he needs a few days to find a place to park the shithole. And she's like, don't go. I don't want anyone else leaving me.
No.
Like, it's all about you, isn't it, bitch? Yep. You can't just be nice to the guy who's fucking dying of cancer.
Nope.
But she would then make the case she is being nice to him by letting him stay. Bitch, The MC goes to the dead pastor's church, and the stepson tries to blow them off. Jax tells him they can help each other, and he confides his mom is detoxing. And they say they can help with that too, and he agrees to let him in. Jax tells her August killed her husband. And, in trying to convince them, Happy goes, we can show you a picture.
That was great.
Yeah. I mean, he's a lot cooler character now than I think he's ever been.
Well, he's always just been the background guy. He's
Yeah.
always been who's the Hercules guy right now? That's
Andre the Giant?
Yeah, Andre the Giant's kind of the background guy right now.
Yes.
He doesn't get any lines. He's just there.
But he's always there.
Yeah, same like the Mexican hang around guy. They're just those characters.
Yeah. They look at him like, why did you say that? Jax tells her if they don't stop Marks, he'll destroy what's left of both of their families. And she looks at him questioningly, and he tells her his wife was just murdered a couple weeks ago. And her reaction is as if it's out of the realm of possibility. I yelled at the screen. He literally just told you your husband was killed. Your husband. Why is it so fucking crazy that his wife was murdered?
She was the worst actor in the whole series next to that kid.
Oh, man. And that didn't get any better this episode either. They ask what they can do, and they get her to sign a statement that he threatened her family into signing the original paperwork. What was it? I can't think of the term.
Whatever.
The paperwork for the land,
Yeah.
the deed or whatever, right?
Yeah, whatever it was, because they were making Mark's half or whatever part half owner of it or whatever
okay.
of the church.
I see. He says to keep the death photos of your husband and the statement with the third party, and that'll be what keeps you safe. And she says, you need to tell him, to the stepson. And he says one of his stepdad's suppliers is blackmailing them, and he has footage of him with very young men with pictures of them in the background. And the MC will handle Greensleeves if they agree to help with Marks. And he tells her about the cabin and how Gemma will help her taper off the junk, and she agrees. Chibs gives the son some junk to get her through the night. I thought that was pretty good. Like, here, this should handle... That seemed like a lot. I don't know anything about that kind of...
Well, I think that
I don't know how much... I assume
in
that was
that
cocaine.
instance, no, it was heroin.
Oh, okay.
But in that instance,
Oh, that's right. The H trade. Yep.
In that instance, you're just trying to connect the viewer to drugs. So if he gave her nothing in a bag, basically, the viewer would be like, what did he give her? But since there was something in the bag, the viewer doesn't know how much, generally, unless they're a drug addict.
It seemed like a lot for the night.
Oh, yeah, it definitely was. But it still got the hint across.
Because there were 2 bags.
Yeah,
You could have just given her one.
yeah,
It seemed like a lot.
It just got the point across, I think.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. So just visually speaking, they needed to show. Okay.
Yeah.
The son asks if Jax believes in God, and Jax, my favorite line of the entire series of Jax, and probably the best delivered, at least up until this point in the episode, the best delivered line.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But it was his best line yet was when he says, "Do you believe in God?" And Jax pauses and he goes, puts his hand on his shoulder. What's important is that you do.
Oh, you're not shitting. I was like, holy fuck, he's a politician.
In that position, though, at that time, he felt the need to say that. Even I would have gone. I don't know what I would have said, but I don't think I would have said, what's important is that you do.
Yeah,
it felt so condescending.
Yes, it was great.
Oh, man. Fucking amazing. I laughed out loud. I'm like, I'm back on his team.
It was hilarious.
Rat and the other guy, again, he's not getting a name, are following them to the cabin. And Jack says to Rat and Happy, tell Gemma I need her at the cabin. Rat, what do I tell her? That I need her at the cabin. Like, he just said it exactly the same way. That was one of my favorite deliveries, too. Tell her I need her at the cabin. Well, what do I tell her? That I need her at the cabin. What if she says no? Your mom can be a little, difficult. Jax, are you afraid of my mother? Happy instantly without hesitation. We all are.
And that was from Happy.
Yeah. We all are. Just deadpan. Fucking hilarious. He says to tell her it's a mother-son issue. And that's the fucking best way they could have worded that unintentionally to fuck with Gemma.
Yeah.
It's a mother-son issue. And you know what?
family
I
thing.
gotta be honest. I thought he was just saying that like he needed her help. I didn't really put
Catch it at
together
first.
until
It was a mother-son thing, a family issue.
Until when she got there and he said, "This is the mother-son thing." When Rat said that,
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh shit, okay." Nero is going to meet them at Jimmy's restaurant. Basically, I don't know why I wrote down Jimmy's, but they say Jimmy's on some street. I didn't catch the street name. Doesn't matter. Nero asks, they're out in the parking lot, and Nero asks what they want with Greensleeves. And he's like, just a discussion. And he goes, a semi-automatic discussion? That's a pretty good that's a good band name. Semi-automatic discussion. Holy
Like it.
shit.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Hashtag semi-automatic discussion. I'm keeping that. I'll give that to you. Take that as your band name.
I don't have a band.
Well, so what? Just play music under semi-automatic discussion.
That's not a bad name.
That's pretty badass.
I do like that for a band name.
Adam Greenblatt is the guy's name, Greensleeves, and Nero says he can ID him. And when it's done, Nero needs 10 minutes for Dios' stuff. I like the way he did that, because like he almost said it before he walked around the car, and then he was like, in the last second, fucking Jax. It was just really cute that he was that worried to discuss it.
Yeah.
We cut to the jail, and Juice is being put in solitary.
Ooh.
He's like, what? I'm supposed to be in GP. Poor Juice. But not poor Juice. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Juice anymore.
There's a plan for that too. They got to keep him there so that nobody hurts him, because if he's going to be any part of the plan, he's got to be alive when the plan needs to be taken care of.
Yeah, I mean,
because he's just too stupid to be thrown out in public, because he'll get himself killed before he gets to do what he's supposed to do.
Oh, in Gen Pop? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that's their whole thing, you know what I mean?
They pull up on that whatever street it was. I think he said Michigan Avenue or something for Greensleeves. I don't know why. Nero pointed out Greensleeves to the club, and one of his hoes, Winsome, tells Greensleeves that some guy tries to hurt her, and he gives her some BS about how she's brave or special, and who puts the O in ho? Who puts the O in ho? I do. Fuck off, God.
That's the stupidest thing that I ever heard of.
Yeah, they circle around the block and then confront him, and he talks shit about their scooters, and a brawl ensues naturally. Greensleeves takes off and nearly hits Nero. They stop. Somebody yells, "Oh, you dickhead!" I think it was Chibs, had to be.
And I just find it it was just great that these dudes walk in and take out whole fucking biker gangs with fucking guns ready to shoot them, back and shit.
Yeah.
And fucking fist fights with Nazis and shotguns at their throats, but fucking 3 prostitutes fucking take them out.
Oh yeah, I know. One of the chicks Winsome punches Jax right in the face.
Yeah, 3 chicks totally fucking take these fucking they're so bad right out. It was fucking, and not just chicks, but 3 drugged out prostitutes.
Yeah, they were clearly all. I mean, Winsome didn't seem too whacked out. She seemed relatively sober compared to the other 2.
Yeah, but all in the same, they got their asses handed to them by 3 female fucking prostitutes.
Yeah, because she took off and they had to chase her down, and then they convinced her to turn on Greensleeves and come work at Diosa. If she tells them, Greensleeves will cut her lips off, and Chibs, I guess that would be bad for business. She says, "I'm not the girl you take to the opera before I swallow your cock." And Jack says, "We break anyone's arm, they so much as lay a hand on you." And she goes, "That's sort of sweet." And he goes, "We're all kind of sweet." She says, not to sound anti-Semantic. Didn't even say it right. Anti-Semitic. Says anti-semantics, which is wording, which is fucking hilarious. Even better.
Oh, well, and they may have done that to portray the character as a dumb prostitute.
No, I know, absolutely.
So they may have done that on purpose.
Oh, absolutely, it was done on purpose. Yeah, I just thought that was funny that they bothered to do that.
Yeah.
Instead of just letting her say anti-Semitic. But the Jew thing is BS. He's got a foreskin that almost reaches his knees. No, nice. Ugh. Knee foreskin. I don't need that imagery. They bust into his place. I should say Jackson Chibs. He tries to hold a girl hostage, and they don't give a fuck. She's all drugged out and Chinese, I think. Whatever, Asian of some sort, right?
I think so.
She says, "Why is he so mad?"
Yeah, she was pretty funny, too.
Chib shoots him, and he falls through a glass table, and the girl goes, "That sucks."
I'm telling you, that just a traumatizing situation, and we're just cracking right up at it,
Jax gets the
writing.
he gets the phone with the preacher stuff, and GB. Why did I put GB? It's obviously Greensleeves. It's GS, whatever. Greensleeves threatens him, and Jack says, "Isn't there some rule about tattoos and suicide in your religion?" "Yeah, you can't be buried with your family. Like I care." And Jack's, "That's cool." Like, just the way he said that, that's cool. He just picks him up and throws him out the window, and
attempts to throw him out the window.
he got halfway out, and he gets impaled on the glass, and Chibs, "That was a very sloppy suicide."
And once again, I'm telling you right now, just taking something horrific and making it, touching the deepest spot on my funny bone.
Yeah, it worked. He's dead.
Hilarious.
And then Chibs, shalom. Yeah, so that was your favorite part of the episode?
I'm telling you, I had to rewind it because I was laughing. I totally blocked out everything Jack said by laughing when Chip said there was a
Sloppy suicide?
Sloppy suicide. I mean, and just the delivery, because when Jax looks back at him and says, "Yeah," it's so matter of fact,
Yeah,
like
it's like, it worked.
it worked.
He's dead.
It's fucking cracking.
And they're not laughing. That's the best part. If they played it straight.
Oh fuck
If
it.
they're laughing there, it's not as funny.
Oh no. It was so matter of fact, like I mean, it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, good stuff. I love that there's no like forensic teams
No,
in this town that
no,
they have to worry
none at all.
about.
None at all.
They
And
could just have long hair
But-
and it could fall on the ground during a scuffle and they
how
just walk
awesome-
away.
How awesome of a writer do you have to be to write in a murder with a drugged out prostitute and it's hilarious?
Pretty.
I mean,
fucking
that's
good. I
like
don't
telling
know.
a rape joke, is it not?
It's bordering on it. I mean, they even tackled rape in season 2.
Yeah. But so I love it. That was great to me. They touched my funny bone.
Nero tells Jax he wants to be bought out. Nero wanted to walk away a few months ago, and Jax tries to give him the everything is going to be business as usual, I promise. And Nero echoes the I promise part.
Yeah.
Like, even says it along with him, and Jack's like, okay, yeah, I understand. And Winsome asks Nero if he's a gangster, and he's like, I don't think so. Good stuff. Bobby, Tig, and Andre the Giant go to Pope's construction site and break in. Happy and Rat come to get Gemma and tell her Jax wants her to come with them. Everything about that was perfect. Everything about the way they spoke to Gemma and treated her was made her think exactly what she wanted to think. Amazing. Gemma tries to blow him off, and Rat says it's a mother-son thing. Family problems. Need your help. I'm loving Gemma worrying. They keep making it sound bad. What if I say no? You can say whatever you want, Ma. Just do it up at the cabin. She agrees, but has to stop at home first. Unser pulls in as she's being loaded into the van and taken away. Jax gives Tyler the statement, and he tells him to give it to August, and that he'll text him the photos later. They're going to meet at the park by the picnic tables at 6. If he refuses to meet or comes with force, that the letter is going to the DA. And Tyler offers to help, but Jax needs them to stay close to August. Gemma grabs her gun, and for a brief second, I think she's going to react impulsively with Thomas. It's like, is she going to do something else stupid now?
Yeah, since she reacted like that in the first place, you always think that now.
Yeah. Yep. Then they let that pass.
Every one of those are those same exact decisions.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Tig, Bobby, and Andre the Giant uncover the body and take some pics with Pope's sign and sends them to Tyler. Tig, you're an amateur because he threw up. I mean, that kind of stuff. You threw up there. Somebody could test that and find out that's your puke, couldn't they? Wouldn't some of your DNA be in that?
My whole reason that I think they captured Bobby is the fact that there was probably cameras on them with their gear on while they're digging a hole.
Those camera things, yeah. Those what do you call them, the little trailers that have the cameras on them for construction sites?
Yeah, like I say, I mean, you're at a business. You're not.
Yeah, and he's trying to go legit, so to speak, so... Wendy comes home with Abel, who is walking like a psychopath, but terribly as an actor. I mean, just that kid someday is going to look back and go, that was my biggest role, and I fucked that up. It's awful.
He's going to become a drug addict because he's going to realize that he was shit at what got him the rest of his life.
There you go.
This got
Sorry,
me
kid.
my career.
Suck it. You suck.
I'm a huge success now because I did that.
And I'm sure there's twins, so both of you suck.
That's awesome.
He got into a fight with a first grader. Brooke then tells Wendy that Rad is so different around the club, and Wendy tells her to get used to it. Gemma picks up Thomas and starts telling him about Tara. She says it was an accident. She was trying to be a good grandma. Killing your mommy was an accident. And then Abel overhears in a spectacularly unbelievable fashion. I was just like, no, I don't buy it for one fucking second that he happens to be standing there, that he's staring in with that dead fucking look in his eye. No, I don't buy that. I mean, I do think Abel's going to end up, like, killing Gemma.
Oh.
Like, Jax is going to find out about it, and before he gets to her, Abel will have killed her, and then Abel will go to jail for life. And then Jax and Thomas, and he gets away with just Thomas, and it's just Jax that lives. That's another scenario I just came up with right now.
Well, now that they're in this weird war, I mean, I know that they got Pope and that they killed Pope, but I think that this Marks was thought that it may have been the club all along that did that to Pope. You know, because it was in question.
Well, yeah, he's no dummy. He
Yeah.
seems to be not taking any of their shit.
Yeah, no, not only not taking any of their shit, but not showing up, and he's not gonna put himself in a position that Pope would have with him.
Yeah, clearly.
So I think they're in a fight with the same person basically.
Yeah.
Round 2, they've learned from the first round. So I think that could very well be the drawback and downfall to them.
I don't know. I had always imagined Gemma living at the end, and now I'm seeing Gemma dying at the hand of Abel, and him going to jail for life, kind of thing, or just whatever, getting put in the jail system, and Jax getting out of there with Thomas, and him raising a new. Well, Thomas was his brother's name, right? Yeah. I don't know. So in a way, Gemma's 2 sons live on. Too much of a stretch. Wendy sees Gemma is worried about Jax hurting her. She says he knows what Juice told him. And she tells Wendy to tell Nero to come to the cabin. I mean, Gemma is just not fucking playing this off well with other people. She's being too obvious, right?
Too obvious with everybody, and how they don't know shows how much attention they truly pay to the matriarch of the club.
Yeah. Yeah. Alvarez asks why Nero wants out. They're at Diosa, and he's like, "You had me locked in a closet 2 days ago." He says he wants $300,000 and half in cash up front. And he's like, "What are you getting? Or you can't dodge bullets anymore?" And he's like, "I'm just getting too old. Don't feel like doing it anymore." He tells Alvarez to think about it, who says he will take it to his table. And Nero gets a call from Wendy, and, obviously she's telling him to come up to the cabin. And he starts freaking the fuck out, thinking that something bad is going to happen to her, which I don't blame him. Everybody, he's seeing his escape plan, or his escape route now, which is that home, or the farmhouse or whatever, and this is usually the time when people start getting offed in your retirement plan. It usually doesn't go as you hoped. Unser shows up with the replacement bike, and he says Wendy called him about Gemma being upset. Jax genuinely has no idea what he's talking about. Is something going on? Jax is just like, no. They blame it on Happy, thinking he said something that made Gemma worry. Go inside. It's okay. Jax assures Unser that she's safe there. And Tig puts his hand on Unser's shoulder, and he knocks it off, and then he puts it on his head, and Unser knocks his hand off again, and then he gives him a little smack on the ass as he's walking away. Tig is fucking hilarious. Did you catch that stuff, Tony?
What's that stuff? Sorry, come on.
Oh, he's fine. No big deal. Oh yeah, the stuff with Tig and Unser. That was another one of the great Jax deliveries, was when he said, no. Like, is something going on? He was just like, no, I don't have any idea what you're talking about. He didn't know why Gemma would be all upset that she was going to the cabin. Because he's just telling her to come help out with something fucking normal, and her guilty conscience is just making her freak out. They blame it on Happy. Yeah, anyways. When Tig was touching Unser,
Oh, yeah.
he puts his hand on his shoulder, and he slaps it off, then on his head. Then he gives him a slap on the ass as he walks away. Bobby offers to drive up there, and Jack says to take Quinn, but he declines. which is one of those foreshadowing things where you just know something bad's coming from that. Tyler confirmed that August is going to be there. That was what Tig was on the phone with. They arrive at the cabin, and Gemma goes for water, but really zips her bag loud as fuck and gets her gun out. Like, that was so loud. I don't know if that was just the sound effect for the show or if it was really that loud out in the other room, but you heard water running and you heard zip. Happy gives Rad a look not to smoke as he's about to light up. And Gemma sees the mother and son issue that she was there for, and she breathes a literal sigh of relief. She didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. She thought she was dead. The MC is riding to the meet, and the Mayans kind of meet him along the way and follow. We see Bobby singing, and he gets ran off the road by August's people. The gay guy from 6 Feet Under is leading the charge. Have you ever seen 6 Feet Under?
No.
No? Well, whatever. That guy, Moses, ended up being his name, but he was Dexter. You've seen Dexter, right?
No.
Okay, well, never mind.
How do I do this again?
The MC was do what again?
Never mind.
You've never seen Dexter or 6 Feet Under?
No. So I just asked how to watch TV.
Yes. You asked what to watch.
How do I do this again?
You gotta watch those shows. Well, you don't have to watch Dexter anymore. Had such promise, guy. Watch it through the 4th season and pretend that was the finale.
No, fuck that.
It's so good. But after that, the MC is waiting at the park, and August is late, so Chibs calls Tyler. Wendy's checking in on the boys, and Abel is seemingly pretending to be asleep, and she shuts off the light.
That's the best acting he's done the whole time, by the way.
Pretending to be asleep,
yes.
Right? Just that part, not once he opened his eyes. As soon as the eyes opened, it ruined it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's pretending to be asleep. She shuts off the light and walks out, and he opens his eyes like a serial killer.
I thought he was asleep, too. He makes a great serial killer.
Right. A Gemma song, Greensleeves, begins the ending montage. Greensleeves is actually a song, huh?
I don't.
Clearly. I mean, we just heard it, but this was not one of her better ones. Her performance of singing,
wonderful
she's had better
actor,
ones.
and I don't want to take anybody away from doing what they're doing because they enjoy it, because I'm sure she's not doing that because she gets paid for it, because she's got money and doesn't need that. She's doing it because she enjoys it. And I don't
singing?
Yeah. And I don't want to
She's doing it because her husband's requisitioning a song.
Well, I don't want to take anything away from anybody that shouldn't be doing something that they're enjoying. Because fucking, if you're you went the LARPing, if you're enjoying it,
I've never LARPed. I do podcasting.
That scenario that when we were arguing about,
you didn't want to do this.
Whatever you're doing and whatever you're enjoying, I'm all for it, and that's great. But she is that is why I won't sing or play in public, is because I feel it would sound like that.
What, mediocre?
Not even.
Okay. My dad's always said that he doesn't... Because I always ask why he decided as a musician to play covers rather than originals. And he said that it's always better to play... in his mind, his philosophy was, it's better to play a great cover song than a mediocre original. The fans the people already have heard it, and you know what I mean, that kind of a philosophy. So anyways, I didn't know this song existed, Greensleeves.
No, I didn't
but
either.
it ended up being pretty decent lyrically, at least by the end. Unser and Chucky, we see them watching the bike come off the flatbed. They're obviously both know shit's going on, but they don't know what the fuck it is. Juice at jail, and they let in a member of the Aryan Brotherhood, and he's like, relax, tell he sent me, or whatever. They sit down, and then Nero arrives at the cabin. August is an hour late for the meet, and Moses Cartwright shows up with a box. His reply to your request is in the package, and he gives a little Brotherhood speech. And
Which was, hey, say what you will, but he made him wait. It's professional how he's fucking with them. It's not professional how Jax
he is the head
fucking
of
with him.
security. Absolutely, he's
It's
doing it.
professional.
He's got an idea that he's executing. It seems like.
Yes.
Like when Marks told him what Jax wanted, he probably came up with this plan. It seems like he's the head of, he's figuring that out.
It just seems professional.
Yeah, no, it really is. It's good stuff. They open the package and find Bobby's patches, and you just see some patches. I didn't see anything that said who, like his position.
Just said original, Redwood original
Yeah.
or something.
And there's an iPad in there with video of him being tortured, and finally his eye in a Tupperware container. And we see that part right as Gemma is singing Greensleeves, Caught My Eye of Blue.
Yeah,
I noticed
the blue
that.
container was his eye.
Yes. And then this episode ends the opposite of last week, if you notice that. Last week, they walked into the camera. This week, Jax walked away from the camera.
Didn't notice.
Yeah, just a little. I don't know if that meant anything, but he walked away from the camera this week. Last week, he walked right into it and it went to black. But this week, that's how it goes. Fade to the Reaper. What I think is going to happen is changing every week now.
Yeah, he's doing good at keeping you on your toes. I'll give you that.
Who, the writer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good writing, I think.
No, it is. It's
Usually I criticize it, and I think that
I think
even
back
if you're
finally on this
trying-
show.
I think the harder you try to pay attention to what's happening, the less you know that's going on.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense as
No,
the best
that-
way to put it.
Yeah, it's kind of the antithesis of Lost in that regard, where they reward you for that, and this show's like, oh, you thinking that? Yeah, fuck that. Just goes in a different direction entirely. Yeah, I don't know. I look back on this show fondly. I was thinking about the stuff with Pope, and that was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
All the daughter burning stuff, like that was fucked up. This show's had a good run. The Clay stuff dragged out too long, I feel like. As much as it
was a
needed
big deal,
to.
though. Yeah, it was a big deal, though. I mean, you wanted it to happen. You were,
But you're also wanting that for Gemma now, and we're waiting and waiting and waiting. And I mean, now they're kind of making it a little more enjoyable with her because she's suffering so much.
Yeah. And wouldn't it be great as soon as she's comfortable, she gets hit on the main street while she's coming out of the cappuccino store?
Just on her own, like
just a random,
accidental.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, Abel's gonna kill her.
that'd be awesome.
Abel's gonna then he's gonna say she killed mommy. Like what if Abel tells Jax?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Right? I don't know. There's some promising episodes in the last 6?
Yeah.
There's
that was
8,
7,
9,
yeah.
10, 11, 12, 13, I believe.
Yep.
So there's 5 or 6 more episodes. There's only listed through 12 on this website that I check.
Really?
Yeah. As far as episode titles go. But I don't know. It's gearing up to be something pretty decent. I wasn't very excited about this show, if I'm honest, this season. I wasn't like, oh man, I can't wait.
And now that I think about last season, even though it did turn me off and I even missed a couple episodes last season, there were quite a few good episodes, like with the Jax thing and not the Jax thing, but the Clay thing. Yeah, I mean, there were a few good episodes.
Well, didn't they break him out of jail or something?
Yeah. Like I say, I mean, there were a few good episodes. Like
You just
that.
didn't want that to happen because Clay was such a douchebag. And
And
basically raped Gemma.
there were a few good episodes. So, like I say, last season wasn't a total loss, even though they lost me with the kids shit. But it wasn't a total loss.
Oh, was that the one where she smoked a joint and then ran off the road because that's how it works in the real world? You can't possibly drive, and you're gonna run kids off the road if you're high.
Fucking retarded.
Yeah, that was some bullshit. Just stupid storylines, and then the stuff with the school shooting not really paying off. It didn't become as big of a deal as I thought it was going to be.
No,
there were some splinters of it.
Yeah, I didn't
like
care
the
for it.
Darvney
Leave the kids
thing.
out of it, man.
Like that thing was kind of connected to that.
Yeah, just leave the kids out of it, I say.
Oh, wait a minute. So there's an off there's something that's off limits now,
No, not at all. It just it was
or
done,
that they're not doing it well.
it was done in a manner that turned me off. It wasn't done in a manner where you're like, oh fuck. Because like I say,
So what you're saying is you watch these children's storylines and it didn't turn you on.
yeah, it didn't turn me on. They need to write children's stories that turn me on.
This is how to watch TV.
You're welcome.
See you later.
All these memories in my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind. I'm still a secret lemonade drinker.